Hello and welcome to The Dialogue, the show that has discussions about the latest sports topics of the day. I'm your host with the Golden Mic, Daniel Campbell, and I'm here with the star of the show, Charlie Murphy. In today's episode, we'll talk about the preview of the NBA Finals and the hiring of Darvin Ham. All right, Charlie. So it's been a little bit since we talked. How's everything going?
Everything was good. It's my off day, as always. We do this on my off days, so I'm happy. Did a couple of chores at my mom's. Got to eat some nice, probably the best food I ate all week. So I won't
Nice.
even lie about that. Now I'm here, man. Ready for this podcast.
Hey. Well, you don't have to be the best chef, right? You don't have to be. You just got to eat, right? But it's always good to get mom's cooking.
I'm definitely spoiled over the years. I've definitely been spoiled over the years. So
Yeah. I was fortunate. I also married a woman who can cook. So, I don't have to worry about that too much. It just sucks that she's vegan. So I kind of have to fend for myself for the most part.
how long
Yeah.
has she been vegan?
Um, maybe 8 months now, something like that.
Okay, she just started.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah. Gluten free for like 2 years and now vegan for 8 months. Yeah, it sucks.
every generation is getting worse with less skills for marriage. So cooking is just small sample size, but every generation is getting worse. Generation after ours, it's just like, all right, Uber Eats, man. If they
Yeah.
still have that, so they probably will.
But funny story, I finally turned on my Xbox for the first time in like 3 months. Whenever the last
Yeah,
time I played with you.
how's it feel?
Um, I didn't get to play. I had so many updates to do. I didn't
Get
even
like
get
two
to
hours
play.
of updates, man.
Man, I had like 4 hours of updates. Not just Xbox updates, but just game updates. So I didn't even get to play. By the time of the updates were done, it was like 11 p.m. at night. And I
Always
have gig
updates.
speed. I have business class gig speed. I'm the fastest you can get, and it still took that long. So
Well, just every now and then, just before work, just wake up, cut it on. Have it set to cut off automatically after an hour or two.
yeah, I
So,
do, but I forgot I didn't even have it plugged in, so it wasn't doing the updates.
I
So
don't
yeah.
update.
So I'm gonna try to get some gaming in maybe this upcoming week. I got Juneteenth off, so I'm gonna definitely try to play
Juneteenth.
that. Yeah,
Well, with my new schedule, I'll be free nights, so I'll be
nice.
online. I've been on my Xbox, but I've been mostly watching, Ozarks and stuff. So,
Yeah. You got to catch up on that. I'm doing Stranger Things now. That's why the episode is named Stranger Things because there's some strange things going on in the NBA. We're going to start with something that's a little less strange, but we'll get to the strange thing later. We're going to start with the NBA Finals and the preview. So I'm going to ask you a question about the NBA Finals because I think there's a couple of burning questions that we've got to ask. Clearly, we have the Golden State Warriors and a very strong offensive team. And then we have a very strong defensive team in the Celtics. So, does defense or offense win championships, Charlie Murphy?
both teams are actually very good defensively. Very good defensively. Golden State, I mean, during the year, if they had, it's like they play small ball, but they move fast. So they put bodies on you. So they're better defensively than I thought they were going to be at the start of the year. So Boston's another team, like what? They don't exactly have any big people, big centers. Because Al Horford sometimes plays the five, but he's got the body of a power forward. But they're getting it done offensively and defensively. So remember for our first podcast, neither one of us had these two to be in the finals. So we were both wrong. So
Well, I did have Boston.
yeah, okay. That was
Yeah,
okay.
I had Boston.
Boston.
Yeah, I always
Okay.
knew Boston.
My apologies. I
The
thought I
only
had
reason why I
Milwaukee.
had Boston is just because of the depth. Nothing more than the depth. That's it.
Well, depth matters. So Golden State, I would say, I feel like they got lucky, to be honest, because like every uh, team they played against had a significant injury or just a bunch of injuries. So I think in every one, I want to say they got lucky because they every team someone got injured. John Morant, he was injured, and that was huge. Just
Yeah.
one team, for example. But
Well, you know what? I think that Memphis was the only team other than Phoenix that could beat them. Honestly, they got lucky with John Moran getting hurt. Even though I still think they would have beat Memphis just because Memphis is so young. Memphis was going bound to make mistakes, and then also Memphis relies too heavily on the three ball, but they're not great shooters necessarily. Um, the only great shooter that they would have that they really have from three is Desmond Bain. All the other guys are kind of streaky. So,
okay,
and then also Jaren Jackson, who I think is a phenomenal, I mean, phenomenal power forward slash center, however you want to view him. But he can't stay out of foul trouble. That's it's just simply put. If he ever figures that out, he's going to be a game changer for them.
yeah, I
Um,
agree. They
looking
did.
at
Oh,
everyone else that they played, I didn't think. Look, I never thought Dallas was any good. I know Dallas is no good, and Luca is. I know
Luka.
I'm beating a dead horse here. He's good, but he's not that good. If you go look at him, he's got a lot of holes in his game, especially on the defensive end. And then you know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of Carmelo Anthony. That's who he is to me. He's Carmelo Anthony. And what I mean by that is Carmelo Anthony had all this talent. He had all of this ability to score the basket, but he could never get his teammates involved. He could never make them better. And so all you saw with Carmelo Anthony as the best player on the Denver Nuggets, and even when he went to the Knicks, is you saw this guy who was just putting up these prolific numbers, but it never amounted to anything more than an eighth seed or a seven seed, a six seed. He had that 1 year with Allen Iverson where he went to the Western Conference Finals, but other than that, there was really just marginal success, and that's what I see Luca as if he doesn't learn how to share the wealth with his teammates.
What do you mean
So
by share the wealth? Because the biggest difference between Melo, I think Melo's a better scorer than Luca. I would
okay,
say that Luca rebounds and playmakes a lot more than Melo.
he
That's a big
does
difference to me.
in the regular season. In the regular season, I agree with you 1,000%. His numbers look great. He gets triple doubles, but in the playoffs, he stops passing the ball. He's doing a little bit more of the one man show thing. His teammates aren't involved, and then when they kind of do get their moments to get involved, he's off. It's kind of when he's off the court. But if you look at Jalen Brunson, he really is a facilitator as well and a great point guard, but he's kind of relegated to playing a secondary role to him. And then also you have Spencer Dinwiddie out there, who's another creator, another ball handler, another guy who can get his own shot, but he's relegated to nothing almost. So if you really take a deep dive into what they're doing, Jalen Brunson and Spencer Dinwiddie are really getting all of their points when Luka's off the court. That's a problem when your two best players next to you cannot get shots up when you're on the court. So um, I think that they may fix that problem. I know Jason Kidd definitely is the right coach to try to fix that problem, but um, that was just an easy challenge for the Warriors overall. The Suns were the team that I felt that could actually challenge the Warriors, but we didn't get to see it.
Oh, because
This
who could we see it?
we didn't. Yeah, yeah, we
Because
just
who
didn't.
who beat the Suns?
I know
Who beat
who
the
beat
Suns?
them. I still have my conspiracy theories about that, and you're not going to get
And
wise.
didn't Luca miss 2 games in that series? I believe was it
No,
the
no, that
Suns?
was Utah.
Okay, that was Utah. Okay, okay, that was Utah. My problem.
There's
Well,
no
hey,
way
Utah is trash.
the Suns and they beat
Yeah,
the
okay. Well, Utah is trash because they managed to. They still won 4 games, even though Luca wasn't there. Want to backtrack a little bit on Golden State? They played the Nuggets. And even though I kind of thought I went with the Joker, the
Yeah,
Nuggets were missing 2 big players.
correct.
So injuries, they got 4-1. They played Memphis. John Morant was out. Then they played Dallas with him taking all the shots and not getting his players involved. How much of that would you say is? I'm not deflecting now because I know I'm a Mitchell Trubisky apologist. Chicago. How much of that's like the coach is like, hey, like Is the coach simply allowing him to play his game, or is he not like say, hey, you got to get players involved to make him better? Like, how do you fix that problem next year? Is it
You
coaching or
know,
Luca or what is it?
I think you have to do the same thing Phil Jackson did with Michael Jordan. You know, Phil Jackson made Michael buy into the triangle. He was like, "Hey, you can be the best player in the league and score all these points and have all these accolades, or you can win championships." And Michael sacrificed a lot of his game in order to win championships. You have to find a way to convince Luca that winning championships is the key. And if he really cares about winning championships, he's going to change his game. But also, I throw in the other comparison that I would, and the reason why I think Carmelo Anthony is a great comparison is because if you look at their bodies, look how fat Luka is. Look how fat he is, and
I did hear that.
I said he's fat. All
No,
right,
I
he's
heard that.
fat.
I heard that on they were talking about on the analysts. Like Luca's out of
Yeah,
shape a little bit.
he's fat. But look at Carmelo Anthony. He never had a muscle on his body ever. He was fat. Most of his career, he was fat. He never worked out. Never had a chest. You never saw muscles, anything. Carmelo, if he actually worked, could have been so much better if he had worked on his body. He's getting into the season playing into shape. He's not already in shape before the season. He's not lifting weights. He's eating whatever he wants. You can see it because I mean, look at the big. He's got like those big puffy baby cheeks. Like you know,
Mm-hmm.
if he actually worked out, and I really truly believe this in my heart of hearts, if he worked out and really worked on his body, there's no question he's the best player in the game. It's not even going to be a question, honestly. His stamina will be better. He'll have more strength to get some of those shots off, and it will pay off in the long run, especially since he doesn't have the athletic ability. Um, but we're kind of digressing here a little bit. Let's get back to the task at hand. Let's talk about the Celtics, about their defense. They have the second overall defense in all of the NBA. I forget who was first, but they were number two. They were ranked number two. So, do we think that they have enough to stop the Warriors for 4 games?
Man, like I'm definitely going with Boston to win the series because of the depth and stuff. But um, you know what Golden State is going to do, and they still do it. Every team,
Yes.
you know what they're going to do, and like obviously, there's no one that stops Golden State. Obviously, because here they are. So if there's any team that can do it, it would be Boston.
Agreed. Agreed. I would say this. I'm picking Boston. I am. And the only reason why I'm picking Boston is I know we're agreeing on it, but the only reason why I
Yeah, I
chose
gotta switch to that. All right, I need a Steph Curry jersey.
but here's the thing, right? I told you I chose Boston a long time ago. And the reason why I
Mhm.
chose them is simply put, the defense is good. Um, they have enough offense if they shoot good shots. The problem with Boston is that they shoot a lot of really bad shots. They have a lot of empty possessions. But if they can curtail that a little bit, play good defense, they're going to be better. Because this isn't the Steph Curry that we know. This isn't the same Steph Curry that was shooting dang near 50% from the field in every single playoff game from 3 point range. Jordan Poole has regressed as the talent has gotten better, and then Klay Thompson's only going to give you one old school Klay Thompson game per series, and you're going to have maybe two other fairly okay games from him, and the rest are going to be trash. So
Okay.
I don't see there being enough offense, particularly from Golden State, and they also have not played a defense this good. Simply put, they just haven't. So I don't think that they're going to do anything. I think that transitions us into my next question. So, um, who's going to play better on this big stage? Who do you think is going to be the most significant player? For good or bad?
Between both.
for good or bad,
Yeah, good.
for better or worse.
Better or worse? I'm gonna say Curry, just of experience. He's not the same player, but Jason Tatum is just some games he's a hit and miss. He has been inconsistent. So I ain't saying Clay because yeah, you get one good game a series and that's not enough. I'm gonna go with Curry, most experienced player, and they are getting it done.
I'm gonna ask. Okay. Would it be cheating if I made it two players?
No, no, it's your show, man.
Okay.
Get a golden
Okay.
mic. Yeah,
All right.
golden mic.
I just want to ask, would it be cheating? Because the two players that I think are the most pivotal players are, I think that Jalen Brown is more important, but the secondary player would be Jason Tatum. And the reason why is for something I alluded to earlier, bad shots. They shoot so many bad shots from three. It's not even funny how many bad shots they shoot from three. And Marcus Smart, I'll throw him in there as a tertiary guy.
Okay. Yeah, I think he'd be
Yeah,
impactful.
wildly bad 3-point shots when it's like, okay, y'all, this whole third quarter, y'all missed every single 3-point shot. Why not just step in a little bit, get the mid range going, go to the basket or something, and see if it opens up the 3-point shot for later. So if they can curtail some of those bad shots that they're doing, if they can go to the basket, get more foul shots, I think that this is going to make the difference for them. Also, I alluded to this a little bit earlier in the last podcast. I mentioned how uh, Jason Tatum struggles with guys that are his size. They really kind of don't have anybody to put on him other than Andrew Wiggins, right? But if they put Andrew Wiggins on him, then it means that Jalen Brown has no one his size. So they can kind of play bully ball here a little bit. And I think that that's going to make a huge difference.
How
Um,
tall is Jalen Brown again?
he's 6'7". Tatum six
Okay.
nine. He's 6'7".
I would say Clay, but he's definitely not the defender he once was. So
No, he can't keep up with Jalen Brown. Not like that. No, not without fouling him. And Jordan Poole's 6'3". Steph Curry certainly can't play him. Um, yeah, and I mean, with
maybe.
Marcus Smart, you can definitely take Marcus Smart, put him in the post, and have him post up Steph Curry, or even post up Jordan Poole. So there's a clear advantage on the Boston side, in my opinion. But I think that the most important player, honestly, is Jalen Brown. If he can just shoot better shots, go to the basket more. They're not calling that play that stiff arm that he's doing when he goes to the basket. I don't know if you've noticed it, but he looks like Derrick Henry out there when he's going to the basket. Just watch. Next time, if you haven't been paying attention, just watch. It'll be a stiff arm. I'm telling you, it'll be a stiff arm that he does every time going to the basket. It's just pure bully ball. And there's no one who can stop him if they're not going to call that foul shot, so that foul call. So offensively, at least. So we'll see what happens there. Um, let's transition over to our Stranger Thing, the curious hiring of Darvin Ham to the Lakers. Um, I'll give you the go. What was your initial thoughts on when they hired him?
Initial thoughts. I knew about him a little. 'Cause, he did play against LeBron at some point.
Yeah,
Early LeBron's career, and I've heard his name here and there, so I knew about him a little. I had to do a little research on him, but former players in general tend to do a pretty good job as head coaches overall. But not everyone now, but former players. So um, I mean, it's always good to see a minority get a chance because they're often looked over. In the NFL, they have like, hey, you can interview them, but you don't have to hire them. So it's always good to see a minority get a chance as a coach. Looking at his career and stuff, he has put in the work, and uh, the only problem I see is getting the talent to match. But I think they got the right coach. Not to mention, he didn't have to give up like power. The previous coaches they had, they were definitely on the leash. Like Jerry Jones, they swear up and down the Cowboys that these coaches can make decisions and stuff, but we know that Jerry Jones makes the final decision. He almost got Johnny Manziel. He almost got Johnny Manziel while they had Tony Romo. And his son had to like, no, what are you doing? We need a tackle. We need a tackle. So I think they got the right coach, and most importantly, he has the power to make own decisions. because I can't think of the coach that just got fired. Can't think of him, but he had to get permission to put to bench Russell Westbrook, or at least have him come off the bench. You need permission to do something like that. So I think they got the right guy.
Yeah, I can't think of his name. I know it's Frank, but I don't know why the last
Vogel.
name.
Vogel.
Vogel, yeah, Vogel's.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
who actually I think I actually was approving of that hire because Frank Vogel in Indiana was a pretty freaking good coach. It's just he coached Indiana and they just are devoid of talent. So that there's nothing there. And unfortunately, he coached a team
Okay.
in the Lakers this past season that's just equally a bereft of talent as those Indiana teams were. So, but here's the thing. Okay, so this is my first initial reaction. All the good white coaches passed this job up. They wanted all the good white coaches. That's what they wanted. They wanted Quinn Snyder. They had a couple other guys that they wanted. All of them passed it up. And why did they pass it up? Because it's a terrible job, and no one knows if LeBron's even going to be there after this season. So why would you take this job? So what do they do when there's a job that no one wants? Hire the black guy. Give it to him. He'll be the scapegoat, and we'll just be good with it like that. All right? That's what they do every single time. I felt bad for Darvin Ham because I think that he has a proven track record, all right, as a coach. Everyone respects him everywhere that he's coached. He coached the championship team with Milwaukee. Giannis loves him. Everybody raves about him wherever he's coached. He's coached with the Lakers previously, so he's familiar with their dysfunction. So that's a plus. But I feel bad for him because the truth is, as a black coach, he does not have the ability to say no. I'll stay right where I'm at and I'll wait for a good job. If you are a black coach and you do not take the first job that's offered to you and every job that's offered to you subsequently, you will be labeled as a troublemaker and you will never work again or never get that opportunity again as a head coach. So he has to go take a job that he's going to fail at. He's going to fail miserably at. Everybody's going to blame him for it. And it potentially could cost him another head coaching job in the future because most of the coaches that have coached LeBron over the years have taken the blame and have never gotten another head coaching job ever again. That's just what has happened for the vast majority of the dudes who coached LeBron. Going back to his Cleveland years, especially like Paul Silas and a few of the other guys. They were all blamed. David Blatt. Ty Lue is the only coach. Well, Eric Spoelstra survived him, but he survived him only because it's the Heat organization, and they believe in organizations over players, right? And Ty Lue is the only other coach to absolutely survive him and be able to get another job. None of those other guys have because everybody revolves around LeBron, and everybody just assumes that LeBron is fit to do everything, and that it's everybody else's fault, including the coach. So I feel bad for him because he's going to be blamed for this. He may get another job, but it will not be a good job, that's for sure. To your point, what you said about the NBA is far more progressive. I don't know if you realize this, but with the hiring of Darvin Ham, there are now 15 NBA coaches. Yep, 15 black head coaches.
Yeah, yep. I do. I heard that this morning. 15.
Yeah, so now that's half the league. So that's pretty impressive, especially in a league that's what? I don't know the percentage on blackness, but if the NFL is 70% black, then I would assume that the NBA is like 90.
Most of the players, at least 80. You know what? Maybe close to 80 because we got a lot of European people.
Yeah,
there's a few. There's some white people that slipped in, obviously, but we got European people. We got Spanish people as well. So
yes, maybe 85, but it's.
I definitely say close to 80, but Yeah, it's good to see that. Yeah, this might be the Lakers. The problem is like when you get all these superstars, you're too top heavy, and if injuries happen or people don't produce, there's nothing you can do about that. You're screwed. So the problem that this top heavy, yeah, and you got Russell Westbrook who has to play the ball in his hands at all times. He can't play off ball because he ain't a catch and shoot. You know, he can't. If he can't play his brand of basketball, it's what we saw last year. It's going to be terrible.
Mhm.
It's like I couldn't play my game. You're playing with other people now. You can't just. You got other people got to see. The same thing with Luca. You know, Westbrook. I mean, he gets assists, but he kind of forces a lot of those assists. So
So what would you do? All right, you're Darvin Ham. What would you do with Russell Westbrook?
I think probably right now his value or what you can get from him is lower than you would like to admit. So honestly, play him 1 quarter of the season. Get some good tape out there, and say, hey, this last season was a fluke. Get some good tape. Hope that Anthony Davis can at least stay healthy, like 10, 15 games. LeBron can get you 10, 15 games. I think if you trade him right now, you're not going to get much for it. You're really not.
Well, he's
Unless you.
untradeable. No one wants him.
Oh, okay.
No one
Yeah.
wants him. You can't even trade him.
So back to my original thing. You get a quarter of the season and then like put some good tape out there, and then you might have to sell a little and take a loss, unless he plays outstanding out of his mind. But I think those years are behind him, to be honest. I really do. Like we're at the point where this is pretty much where he's going to get. It's unlikely that he can maintain this. If for some reason he can maintain that, trade him.
I don't see it as happening because I think if I'm not mistaken, he's getting paid like $45 million this year. So it's not going to
Mm-hmm.
happen. He's like the highest paid player in the league, if I'm not mistaken. So not going to happen, especially with that type of production. What I would do is I would start him with the A team. I'd let him play for about the first 4 minutes of the game, playing off ball. He has to play off ball from LeBron. And all I would want this dude to do is I don't want him rebounding. I don't want him doing anything. I'm going to do it like it's 2K. Every single possible rebound, you are leaking out for a fast break. That's all I want you to do. Anthony Davis and LeBron can pass the ball up the court to you for these easy points. That's what we're going to do for the first 4 to 5 minutes of the game. Then I'm going to sit you. I'm going to let those guys finish the first quarter, start the second quarter a little bit, and then you're going to run with the bench unit. When the bench mob comes in, I'm bringing you back with the bench mob, and it's just going to be the Westbrook show with the bench mob. It's going to look like when he was with OKC and he's playing with all the scrubs and he was just doing everything. We're going to let you just go out there. You can stat pad all you want, get all the rebounds, get all the dunks, the points, shoot all the shots. It's all good. That's what we're going to let you do. And then when the starters come back in at the end of the second quarter, we'll overlay you with them a little bit, see how it goes. But if it's not going well, we're going to sit you within a minute to 2 minutes of you being out there on the court, and we'll bring you back for another 4 minutes in the third quarter, and repeat. That's what I'm going to do.
That's a great idea. I don't think he can play off ball though. I really don't. Because I mean, if LeBron has to dish it out to him from an open three, I would tell the team let him take 20 open threes a game.
It doesn't work well. We've seen it in Houston. That doesn't work well. But I think what you have to do is you have to do what Houston did. Houston basically made him the center. That's essentially what they did. They made him the center. They put a bunch of guards out there with him, and they made him stand in the corner like he was PJ Tucker or Bobby Portis or anybody else that's a shooting big. Stand in the corner. You shoot threes when you're allowed to, and if you can't get the three, you are allowed to crash the boards and try to go get tip dunks and stuff like that and play defense. That's the only option that you have for him because you can't play him with a real. And this is the problem with the Lakers. They tried to play him with real centers, but you can't play him with a real center because A, he can't shoot the three ball very well, and B, he needs the lane that Dwight Howard is standing inside of. So you have to do something creative like that. And I think that Anthony Davis is an ideal big to play with him just because Anthony Davis really doesn't want to go down on the block anyway. So by putting Anthony Davis out on another corner or the hash marks or somewhere or the top of the key, you're giving Westbrook basically you're saying the paint is yours, Westbrook. Do what you want.
So, so we have a similar viewpoint at least. You got to play him. You got to play him. But I don't. When they first got this big three, even I was like, I don't know, man. They might win some games, but they're still too top heavy.
Yeah.
You know, you have Melo in there, which is great, but he's not the same player. Maybe because he got to work out, his body's just out of shape. But the team's too top heavy anyway. So even if they all stay and they stay healthy and compete, I don't think they make a very far playoff run because then defense is the next thing. You
Yeah.
know,
And
they're going to
there's
give up
stuff
some points.
because I don't foresee this isn't a situation where I see him getting bought out. Like you'll have players on a bad contract and they'll get bought out. Roughly after the trade deadline, they'll get bought out and they'll take less money. Just to go to another team, take a minimum contract, and go and play for a winner. I don't foresee that with Westbrook because he's owed way too much money to be bought out at the end of the season. There's no way that he would. In my opinion, there's no way he would take less money to go play for a contender. Nor do I think there's a contender that would really want him anyway. So, with that being said, you're stuck with him probably for the remainder of the season because, again, it's different when somebody has a $20 million a year contract. They buy them out and be like, okay, we'll just pay you 15 mil, and then you can go earn a veteran minimum contract. You'll make your 5 mil up with the next team, and you'll have a chance at a championship. This dude is worth $45 million. There's no way the Lakers are going to be like, yeah, we're going to pay you. We're going to pay you $40 million to walk away. There's no way. Just no way. That's way too much money to just pay somebody to walk away for nothing and to get nothing in return. No return on investment. So I think we're stuck.
Well, it's like you said, Darvin Ham got the job nobody wanted. And it's probably because of Westbrook.
Yep.
It's probably
Exactly.
the first year is not going to be. Even LeBron James is like, we're going to be in the playoffs next year. Like, okay, is Westbrook going to play better? Is Anthony Davis going to stay healthy? Like, it's too many questions. You know what you're going to get from LeBron. Okay, LeBron's going to do his thing. He's been very consistent his entire career. Very consistent. That's amazing. Jordan's still better, but
Yeah.
that's why I guess Darvin Ham got the job, and all the white people just
And
didn't
that's
want
what I was going to say. I mean, and that's the beauty of all of this is that it's killing LeBron's legacy. I am so thrilled that it's killing his legacy. All these people were out here talking about how great LeBron is and all this longevity and stuff like that. Yeah, it's a lot of longevity, but a lot of losing at the end.
yeah.
And
We know.
well, go ahead.
Okay. So we know Jordan's the best. We know the Bulls are the best team, first of all, because every team is compared to the Bulls. Every team is compared to the Bulls. When the Kevin Durant was on the
Warriors.
Golden State,
Mhm.
yeah, the Warriors, they compared it like, hey, Steve Kerr's like, you've seen both teams who could win. Obviously Kerr gave a smart answer, not answer.
Right.
Like, oh, did you see the meme? They had a picture of Kyrie and Durant. They were each one of those guys were previously on Boston and the Warriors. Yet those teams got there without them.
Yeah. It's you know what it looks like? You ever had well, I'm sure you have. You ever have a girlfriend that you left and then you thought you left her for another
Okay.
girl and then you were like, I thought
Hey,
relationship was gonna be better.
no, I don't know what you're
Well,
talking about. Never happened.
you're just like, you know what? I got this good thing with this chick, but I got somebody else who I think it'll be better with. I'm gonna go leave and get with this chick, this new chick, and we're gonna have an even better relationship. And then you look up, your relationship is crap with this new chick who you thought was gonna be amazing with, and then you look, and the old thing is doing better. The old thing is doing better than you doing.
Yeah.
And all you can do is look at him and be like, man, I should have never left.
Yeah, that sounds like a B Smooth problem, but he's not here. So,
Yeah, that's
um,
definitely a be smooth problem. So I wish he was
yeah,
here because then he could do his drunken thoughts, while sober. He could expound on that
yeah.
a little
What
bit.
happened to
But
the podcast again? I forgot. It was very successful too.
yeah,
Very
it was.
successful.
Well,
Very
hey, ladies
successful.
and gentlemen, that is all the time that we have. Make sure you watch us on YouTube, rate us, review us, give us 5 stars, and leave a comment. And we'll talk to you next week.